Hello everyone, this is Lexi. Just decided to do a quick video. I'm out here on the beach enjoying life. It is so beautiful out here. If you can see, the sun is setting in sunny Florida. On my way over here, kind of had a word in my heart, and we're going to title this video Dead Ends. So for you guys out there, you probably don't experience any dead ends because most of you keep your hair kind of short. So you cut your hair off before your hair goes to the length to where your ends start getting split and dead. But for my ladies out there, you understand your hair grows to a certain length, it starts getting damaged, split ends, frizzy, frayed, and it just looks a mess. Hair is weighed down, lifeless, can't hold a curl, just nothing. But you're trying to hold on to it because, oh, I don't want to cut my length off, even though it's damaged and worthless. But once you cut those dead ends off, your hair starts looking more vibrant, more lively. And if you're like me, I like layers in my hair. So you cut a few layers in there, throw a few curls in there, and boom, you have movement, body, and it's just banging. Well, same thing with your personal life. If you are in a situation, whether it be career-wise, personal-wise, relationships, where you are just being unfulfilled and weighed down, you have to get out of that. You have to cut those dead ends off. If you dread waking up every day going to a job that you hate because you're overqualified, because you know that there's more to life than what you're doing, dead ends, you got to cut that off. You can't be afraid to step out on faith and do what you're supposed to do. Fact number one, you do need a job. You always need a source of income. Fact number two, you don't necessarily need the job that you have. So yes, you do need a job, but you don't need that job necessarily. If it is dragging you down, if it has you depressed, if the company is disrespecting you, if they just don't acknowledge you, and you're not being fulfilled, it's okay to walk away from that. Also, if you're living in a town where there's no progress because it's so small and there's just really aren't many quality jobs out there, the jobs that are available you're overqualified for, and the jobs that you are qualified for you can't have because people who have been there 20-30 years won't let the jobs go. Sometimes you have to move further out and branch out to get that job that you deserve, that you need. You can't be afraid of that. And everything that I'm telling you right now is things that I've personally gone through myself. This isn't something that I heard or something that I read somewhere. I left my hometown where half of my friends, half of my family is, to go to another state. I moved to a city I didn't know anyone, had no friends, no family. I didn't even have a place to live, y'all. I lived in a hotel for like a week and a half, but I did have a job. I had a dream, I had a goal, and I had faith that everything will fall into place, and sure enough, it did. And I packed myself, my son, and all of our stuff, and I moved to another state, and we've been living happily ever since. Now, if you're talking family-wise dead ends, now some of you, this is a little touchy because we all love our family. Lord knows I love my family, but some of them don't want to be helped. You try to get them out of situations, and they keep getting back in the same situation. You want to know why? Because you keep getting them out. They're not learning anything. You have to cut those dead ends off. Not completely cut your family off. I'm not saying that. But you have to let them learn on their own. Because if you're not letting them learn, you're enabling them. They're dragging you down. And what good are you to anyone if you're used up, if you're depressed, if you're damaged and broken yourself? How are you going to help somebody else? Because you're letting them drag you down. You can't live your life. There's no quality of life for yourself because you're too busy protecting someone else's life. You're looking out for your grown children who don't want to work, who don't want to do right, in and out of jail, doing all kinds of stuff that they have no business doing. You keep running to the rescue. People who keep getting themselves in the same situations over and over because you keep running to the rescue. If you stop doing that, it's not because you don't love them, but they will learn how to get themselves out of the situations, and for once stay out of those situations because they had to actually work themselves. You understand? You know how some people, they take more pride over their own stuff when they have to work for it. If you give somebody something, they're not going to appreciate it. They're not going to respect it because they didn't have to do anything for it. But if they have to work for their freedom, if they're in and out of jail and they have to work to get themselves out, they're going to make sure they stay out of it. But if you keep putting your house up for bond to bail them out of jail, you keep putting up the money, paying for attorneys and all this other jazz, you keep paying for all the children that they keep having over and over, they're not going to stop because they're not hurting. They're not sacrificing anything. You're doing all the sacrificing. You're doing all the hurting. And in turn, you're getting nothing. Also, another thing I'm going to touch on. Romantic relationships. Now, I'm not talking to you people who have been married 20, 30 years. There is a whole nother level of work, effort, and commitment that goes into making a marriage work. I'm not married, so I'm not going to get into that. Who I'm talking to are those people out there who are in relationships and situationships. Okay? When you're the one who's constantly giving into the relationship, giving to a person and not getting anything in return. And some of you are actually loving and giving to somebody who doesn't love you back. And some of them, quite frankly, don't even like you. And you are driving yourself absolutely crazy over someone else who is not doing anything for you. Now, some things, all it takes is a simple conversation. Just letting them know, you know what? It would be nice if sometimes you did this or that for me. Or if they do something that's hurting you or bothering you, tell them, you know what, babe? When you do this or that, it kind of hurts me, or it makes me upset when you do this. I would like it if you maybe did this instead. And some people, all it takes is just a little whisper in the ear just to let them know, because sometimes they don't even realize what they're doing. And if you bring it to their attention, they'll say, you know what, I'm sorry, I didn't even realize. And that's fine. Then you have other people who